Good afternoon, good people. I wanted to come to you with a message. Culture cannot have you without a fight. A culture can't have my child without a fight. My name is Tish. This is Grown Folks Perspectives. And this message comes to you personally. I am on the campus of my daughter's university. We're returning her from spring break. And we've had to have several conversations about culture, what was acceptable, what was not, what was biblical, what was not, the pushes, the pulls, and most importantly, respect. Things you say and don't say to your parents, and you probably should get in a habit of not saying to your children, to your friends, right? Code switching is real. I think about Tabitha Brown, and she says she's free of code switching. And that is such a freedom that unless you've been there, you wouldn't understand, right? And so I'm at a point in my life where I'm Tish. This is me, all of me, right? And I don't feel compelled to code switch. The way I speak, the way I inquire, my inquisitiveness, my responses to things, I always want them to be biblical, but I no longer need to code switch. I don't curse like I used to. So when I became a mom, I decided I didn't want to curse. I didn't want to be that cursing mom raising a girl child. And we had a scenario where our daughter slipped and cursed in front of her dad. And she was very apologetic. Clearly it was a slip, but the conversation I had with her was, maybe you shouldn't be cursing with your friends because you're not good at code switching, right? You need to be able to turn that on and off. If you were talking to your pastor, if you were talking to your professor, if you were talking to someone that their role traditionally, I don't want to say commands, but commands respect, right? Would you slip and curse with them? If not, how and why do you allow that to happen with your father, right? And so we had to have that conversation. We also had to have conversations about being appreciative, showing humility, right? No one has to do things for you. If someone does something for you, that is an act of grace from God and a blessing, and you should treat it as such. Never, ever, ever get to the point where you're too good to send a card to say thank you, I appreciate you, right? And so some of these things that I teach my child seems old and antiquated because she's living in a culture where they just send a text. They send a text to say thank you. I say, hey, someone went out of their way to send you money. You send a card, right? I think some things in life warrant change, right? Change is good. But some of the changes that we're seeing now, they're not good. You see a lot of children very, very, very disrespectful. In Philadelphia, we've had a couple of weeks of back and forth shootouts at bus stops where someone literally scoped out a bus stop, plotted, waited until folks was getting ready to board the bus, and jumped out and shot up everybody. We're living through this, right? Because we live in a culture that doesn't value life. We live in a culture that tells their every move and every step. So if someone's looking for you, it's not hard to find you. there's no privacy. Everything needs to be shared. People are using social media as their personal diaries. We just live in an environment where everything is fast, everything is competitive, and everything is curated, right? And that is culture today.